The bloody man has been in front of your face the entire time. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakatum. And I'm going to play some of this video from the Jimmy Dore Show on his channel on YouTube. This is going to be, a reaction to one of the soldiers over there in the so-called, not so-called, but in our land, all right, of the IDF, a woman no less. And you're going to listen and hear why I named it that title, because people think that the so-called white man is good and innocent and benevolent and pure, okay? But what we're telling you is that he marketed himself that way because he's the opposite. Let's listen, okay?
Then I keep trying with soap. What won't come off? The blood off my hands. And look, she's laughing. An IDF soldier admitting that I killed a boy. Now we just laugh about it. Israeli society turns people into sociopaths so they can execute children without empathy. You want to hear it?
Sure. She must do Sam Harris meditations.
She must. Breathe in. Yeah, Tim Dillon just did this.
I texted him the old story from when we had that Buddhist guy, because I think at that point you didn't know Buddhism was also violent, like all the others. That's what Buddhism for, so you can remain calm.
Oh, right. You remember that?
Yeah, right.
He would teach the IDF soldiers how to meditate and remain calm when they were shooting someone in the head.
Not waste ammo.
Don't waste.
Now, why are they doing that? Because what they do is very, very, it's very, very despicable, man, okay? There's one thing to be capable of violence, but there's another thing to be capable of violence on the innocent, okay? It's a special type of blood, all right, that goes out when you slay the innocent, okay? And I'm gonna get that real quick. Genesis chapter 4. All right. Verse 8, it says, and Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. All right. And it says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? You know, the famous phrase. Now, when you read up before that, you realize Cain was bitter because his sacrifice was rejected. Okay. So he had the same opportunity, but it just wasn't in him to do it. And then it says, verse 9, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, Salaki, verse 10, it says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Okay? So when you slay somebody innocently, all right, it's a special spiritual event as slaying the wicked or putting somebody to death because they committed adultery, okay? The Lord sees that differently, okay? And there's a recompense for that, and that's what these individuals are, man. Okay, it puts a stain on your spirit. It puts a stain on your conscience, okay? This is why a lot of people experience guilt. Even Edomites over there in the military, you know, they experience what do you call it? PTSD. Okay? So I just wanted to make that point. Play some more.
Waste ammo.
Yeah.
So let's hear what this IDF soldier. She looks nice. Let's hear what she says. I say I killed a boy. This is from an Israeli documentary film, To See If I'm Smiling. This is from 2007. This is on YouTube already. I don't even say the army. Only that. See, look at her smiling. This is weird. Do you think about it? Do you think about that you killed a boy?
That's a mask.
It's hard to.
Yeah, you can't. I don't have a video to show, but it's be hard to see.
This is weird.
Let me see. Hold on. Now they're saying on the show that she's doing it because of Salakia. They're saying she's doing it because she's traumatized. Which that does happen a lot. But we know that it's in them to just do it perpetually, man. Okay, Esau Edom, he's made of something different, man. Okay.
Do you think about it? Do you think about that you killed a boy?
That's a mask.
It's hard to think about it now.
Yeah.
At the time, I would think about it a lot. Now we just laugh about it as much as one can.
You see that? Now, even though she's smiling through what they're gonna say is pain, they look back on those memories and laugh. Okay. And like the guy said from the YouTube channel, I think it's something called Middle Nation or something there. I think he might be like a Muslim or something. But he said they'll spill your blood like knocking over a glass of water, and won't think anything twice about it. That's these people, okay? And they do this on a routine basis. Esau gets up every day, all right, and and basically spills blood, man. Okay. Let me see if I can find that precept. I believe it's in Psalms. Is it Psalms 14? It might be Proverbs. The wicked lose its sleep. Trying to find it. I always have trouble finding that precept, but it speaks about the oh, yep, Proverbs 4 and 16. Proverbs 4 and 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they have caused some to fall. Okay, so this is something that they yearn for. Okay. Now they pushed the little girl out there to go do that, but that just shows you the layers of demon activity going on, okay, within these people, man. All right, let's play some more.
Now it's just there, like a part of me.
Yep.
I killed a boy.
I don't think
She
she's
means a
laughing.
child.
I think that's somebody.
That's what she means, a child.
Look at that
Hang on,
stare.
Kurt, we have your mic low because of this. I would go home on leave, and I would call my girlfriend in the army. Taban, it's not coming off. What won't come off? You understand, I keep trying with soap. What won't come off? The blood off my hands. And look, she's laughing. I have blood on my hands. I don't know what to do.
Yep.
Whoa!
She's not laughing. She's not laughing about it. That's somebody that's traumatized by what they did.
So they have blood on their hands. All right. Now, Kurt, I think he's got a point when they say, in this particular instance, this woman, you know, she's shell shocked from what she was forced to do, you know. But who was her people that put her up to it? You know, because women are not warriors. Okay, you got certain men that just there's no spirit behind their eyes, man. Okay, so there's a lot of blood on their hands. Okay, this is let me see, Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. So this is him. That's why they went over to that land. This is why they didn't stop there. They went to Australia, South Africa. Okay, they went to North and South America. Okay, they're in Hong Kong, Asia, Japan. Okay, they're everywhere, man. And everywhere they go is a trail of bodies, man. Okay. It says, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right. And I typed that word in, bloody, but I'm gonna let a little bit more of this play.
A complete mask. It looks like watching young kids in gangs. That's what it looked like to me. She goes, I can't wash the blood off my hands. She's not laughing. She's laughing because she killed someone, and that's a trauma. It's brutal what they do. Everybody's drafted. That's why they had to do the Buddhist meditation. That girl is traumatized. That laugh is not the laugh of someone that is enjoying themselves. It is not.
Well, she said she's telling the story as she's laughing. It's incongruent that she's telling a story about telling her girlfriend, I can't wash the blood off my hands, as she's laughing about it. Because
you could see what's behind that immediately.
Yeah.
They force people into the IDF. That's not good for anybody there. And I do not take that laugh as a genuine laugh at all. I don't think a dime store psychologist could see that was a mask for the deep pain of killing a boy, because that's a young girl. Anybody could see that unless they don't want to see it. I could see it immediately. 1,000-yard stare. But what do you think our troops do when they come home? Not that? A cynical laugh after what they just did for the country? That's what all the soldiers do. They're in pain because it's unnatural to make people do that.
And that's why the suicide rate is so high with the veterans. I saw a guy talk.
Yeah, because they don't tell you, but a lot of those veterans, they get orders and they don't really know exactly what they're in there doing. You get sold a dream about, oh, these guys are terrorists and they're the worst of the worst, and then you walk in there and there's some women and kids, okay, and then they're like, well, you got orders, you know, you got to clear the building, you know, and they come back all jacked up, man, okay, because in the ancient world, when we put wicked men to death, we didn't get PTSD, you know. You get that from a sense of guilt. So your spirit gets seared, okay. It's a stain on your spirit, okay. There's that pollutes the land, like the scriptures say, man. This is that blood the scriptures speak about in Numbers 35th chapter. All right, I'm gonna try to get it real quick. Numbers 35 verse 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land where ye are in, for blood defileth the land. Now, when you spill the blood of a wicked man, it doesn't defile the land, okay? When you spill the blood of an adulterer or a murderer, okay? See, the murderer is the one that defiled the land when he spilled blood. But when we put the murderer to death, that doesn't defile the land. It says, for the blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So blood for blood, okay? This is what a lot of Jake and these gangs get that from, blood for blood. You know, blood has to cleanse, you know, blood. And when you think about it from a physical, carnal standpoint, it doesn't make sense. But from a spiritual standpoint, it makes sense. Okay, blood. When we deal with blood in the world, and when the Lord requires sacrifices and things of that nature, or somebody to be put to death, it's a spiritual payment, okay? Blood being spilt is a representation of life, okay? There's a cost, a fee of going back in and out of the spirit world, okay? And you can't just send somebody back of your own will without paying a cost for it. Okay? And that's how the Lord set it up. You know? So when they spilled this blood, this innocent blood, just like Cain did, you know, that's got to be paid back, point blank, period. Okay?
Talking about his troop in Afghanistan, 3 of them got killed in Afghanistan and 17 committed suicide when they came home.
Yeah, that's suicide voice that girl has, but hopefully the Zionist programming is strong enough to not take your own life because they can't lose population.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We think military is. You take kids and you make them killers. And
This is the book of Psalms chapter 5, verse 6. It says, verse 5, Psalm chapter 5, verse 5, the foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. All workers of iniquity, man. Okay? It says, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. All right? It says, the Lord Jehovah will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. So this is detestable, gross behavior. And you have blood being spilled every second of every day at the hands of this guy. You know? Ask yourself why that is. You know?
And then the people that were their enemy that maimed them go on to rule Syria and shake hands with Macron. That's how that works.
Yep.
That's how that works.
That's right.
It's a sicker world than you could think. The world is sicker than you think. And our country is, you know, they call it late stage capitalism. And what they mean is that the whole country, I've been saying this now for years, that the country isn't a little corrupt. It's 100% corrupt.
Yeah, and it's not just 100% corrupt. It's always been corrupt. It didn't just become that way. Okay? The whole of America was founded off of blood, man. The entire landmass. This is why the entire thing is just gonna be an altar, a sacrifice. It's gonna go up in flames. Okay? This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 23. It says, make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. All right? This is why the Lord flooded the earth the first time, man. Okay? You had Cain and his lineage and Lamech and all of them. They're just bloody men, man. And that was indicated by Cain's first action that showed you what the culture was. Okay? The scriptures say it was violence continually down there, man. When the Lord looked down and said, oh yeah, I'm about to flood this bitch. You know? It says, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none, because there's been nothing but violence and violence and violence and violence and violence and violence. And he never got tired, man. He never got tired. Like what Columbus said. He said I didn't put down my sword. Roughly paraphrasing. When he first landed over there in Hispaniola. Okay? He went over there just slaying people. Isaiah 14:6. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Okay, so he's the one that's got anger. You got these Christians trying to cape for Esau, talking about it's fueled by hatred. Well, we're supposed to hate the evil, man. Okay, he's the truly hateful one. Okay, this is a response into what he's doing. Okay, like the Lord said, blood has to be cleansed by blood. Okay. So when this guy goes down, he's not just gonna walk off with a light prison sentence, okay? There ain't no statute of limitations, okay? You've been destroying everything for half a century, okay? And now the Lord has a major beef. There's a major spiritual debt that you got to pay back, okay? The Lord don't care if you think it's a long time ago, okay? You could think it's a long time ago all you want, you know. But a debt is a debt. Okay, and like the man Scott Bessent, Trump's Treasury Secretary, said, he says debt doesn't go away. You know, and that's true. It's gotta be forgiven, or you gotta pay it back. You gotta pay it back, or it's gotta be forgiven. One of the two. Okay. Let me get a couple more, and I'm gonna close this. Damn, 20 minutes. Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. Okay? That's facts. Ezekiel 24, verse 6, it says, Wherefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein. Okay? See? It says, and whose scum is not gone out of it, bring it out piece by piece, let no lot fall upon it. All right? It says, for her blood is in the midst of her. Uh-oh. That means you owe a debt, man. America is a big slaughterhouse, okay? It's a farm with livestock and slaughterhouses on it, okay? It says, for her blood is in the midst of her, she set it upon the top of a rock, and poured it not upon the ground to cover it with dust, that it might cause the fury to come up to take vengeance. I have set her blood upon the top of a rock, that it should not be covered. That means you're not gonna get away with the blood you spilled. Everything's gonna be exposed. Okay? You're not gonna be able to put it on the ground and you know, sweep it under the rug, so to speak. He said the dust shall not cover it up. That means the bloodiness of what you've done will be exposed. Okay? It says, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, woe to the bloody city! I will even make the pile for fire great. And that's what I was alluding to. The pile for fire, that is a big heap of wood and tinder and flammable things to make a giant fire. Okay? That's what's going to cleanse this place. Okay? It says, heap on wood, kindle the fire, consume the flesh, and spice it well, and let the bones be burned. All right? It takes a lot of heat to burn bones, man. Okay? It says, then set it empty upon the coals thereof, that the brass of it may be hot and may burn, and that the filthiness of it may be molten in it, that the scum of it may be consumed. Okay? And you people are the scum, including you 2/3. You know? She hath wearied herself. This chapter goes in. She hath wearied herself, and her great scum went not forth out of her. Her scum shall be in the fire. So you never repented. You never came back and said, I'm sorry. Matt Walsh is like, I'm proud of America. Well, all right. Stand on that. Okay? Stand on that until the end. I want to see that. Or don't. Either way, you're still gonna get put to death. Okay? It says, and thy filthiness is lewdness, because I have purged thee, and thou wast not purged. Thou shalt not be purged from thy filthiness any more, till I have caused my fury to rest upon thee. All right? So this is foreshadowing what's getting ready to happen here in America. All right? So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bahashim Rachakwadash. On to the next. Shalom.